Hello and welcome, and let me wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. Lá Éile Pádraig Sana Díobh. If there's an underlying theme to St. Patrick's Day every year, it is the bonds that unite Irish people and their associations and communities at home and in our diaspora throughout the world. As Irish people, we are also bound together in our values. We cherish freedom, fairness and the rule of law. We express this in our daily lives, in our support for overseas aid, as a committed member of the European Union, in the courage of our peacekeepers, and in the principles we uphold at the United Nations. Which is why, as the Taoiseach will shortly state, we are determined to stand with Ukraine and its people in the face of the appalling act of aggression it is now suffering. I see that same instinctive feeling of solidarity with Ukraine in our Korean friends. As a society, we're also now emerging from a very difficult time as the COVID-19 pandemic slowly recedes. I know that many of you will have suffered enormous strain and separation from family in the last 2 years. However, throughout this time, our ties with our diaspora communities have never frayed. If anything, the endurance of such a period of loss, anxiety and uncertainty has illustrated the value of the connections between people and communities, and indeed the infinite and at times surprising capacity for human generosity, kindness and service. As we mark our National Day, we take pride in our community and we look ahead with determination to the challenges ahead. I'm very glad to say that I now have the opportunity to share with you a message from Céad Míle Fáilte.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Korea. Benachtaí na féile Pádraig ormh go léir. Tá áthas orm a bheith caint lebanúh thar ceann bhuaintear na hÉirden, agus lá le Pádraig á ceiliúradh going I ngár is a géin. Gach áit inar féidir ló, tá ár muintear ag achcheangail leis an bobal má gúrd. Ár bobal ag achcheangail le na chéile, agus éire ag achcheangail leis an domhan. Mar sin féin, tá scá ár geiliúradh imlíne leis an déan leathas agus rial dlí fí bhagart. I am delighted to be able to speak to you today on behalf of Ireland. Our celebrations this year are tempered by the reminder that democracy and the rule of law can never be taken for granted. And so, this year especially, let St. Patrick's Day be a moment to recall and to extol human fellowship, empathy and solidarity, true values of a republic. For let there be no mistake, this is a decisive moment for democratic freedoms and values everywhere. 100 years ago, our country was taking our first decisions as a sovereign democratic state. An early act on the international stage in 1923 was to join the League of Nations. Multilateralism and international cooperation has shaped who we are from the very start. In 1955, we joined the United Nations. 3 years later, our service as international peacekeepers began. Ireland today has the longest unbroken peacekeeping record of any nation in the world. Peacekeeping is a proud tradition ingrained in our culture. 50 years ago, we voted to join what is now the European Union, a union formed in the ruins of war to create unbreakable bonds of peace across Europe. Our European Union membership has added new rich layers of identity, of belonging and of solidarity. And so, on this St. Patrick's Day, I say with confidence on your behalf, we reassert our unequivocal commitment to democratic and humanitarian values by standing with the people of Ukraine. We again declare our unshakable support for the rule of law. We are one with the people of Ukraine. Their freedom is our freedom. Their struggle is our struggle. Friends, Cháirde, after 2 long years, we are emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic. We have learned a lot about ourselves. We know we are resilient. We've also seen how much each of us depends on the other. We are facing new challenges, but we will face them together and we will prevail. Our people are reconnecting with their communities. Our communities are reconnecting with each other, and Ireland is reconnecting with the world. That spirit of connection will guide us in the coming months. I believe that Irish people everywhere will respond to what is happening in Ukraine with the same energy, compassion and conviction that we have showed during the COVID crisis. We will be tested economically, personally, institutionally, but we will respond as a proud member of the community of democratic nations and as citizens of a republic. I would like to take a moment to pay a special tribute to Irish people across the world for the manner in which you have faced the pandemic. Ireland is immensely proud of how our people at home and abroad responded to the crisis with humanity, selflessness, and generosity. Our healthcare workers, our aid workers, and our peacekeepers all represent our country with great distinction. There are countless examples of our diaspora reaching out the hand of friendship and of care to the more vulnerable members of our community during difficult times. For that, I thank you. Over the past 2 years, the richness of Irish artistic output has kept alive a flame of hope, a welcome reminder of human potential when we felt most powerless. Ireland salutes you all. And now we're all called upon again in a new and terrible crisis. Together, we will rise to this challenge and the other great environmental and security challenges that face the world. We will work in unity to protect and restore international law and the principles of the UN Charter. We will redouble our efforts to ensure peace and stability across our European neighbourhood. We remember those we have lost in the pandemic. We will honour their memory by strengthening our bonds of community and implementing real change that reflects the important and often profound lessons we have learned. Ní neart go cur le chéile. There is no strength without unity, a sentiment that has a special resonance at this time. We stand together and we stand with the international community of democratic nations. We stand for a better world and we stand against autocracy and oppression wherever they appear. We stand with Ukraine. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Taoiseach. I'm glad now to introduce the cultural segment of today's event. Irish culture is at the centre of our communities at home and abroad. Indeed, our creativity is integral to our fundamental identity, and it has often been through creative expression that we have made deep and enduring connections abroad. There are two short cultural elements to today's event. Both are from Korea. A musical performance from our friends Jae-dun Jong and Eun Gyung-chae, who are part of the group Kyotori Seoul, and a short reading from our friend Lizzie Ji-hyun Lee, filmed last year to mark Bloomsday, as of course the 100th anniversary of the publication of Ulysses falls this year.
GAE Khowarja, Misha Eun-gyung, agus Choi Jaden Mohara eran concertin. Ta tamuj ag fálim agus ag senin ceorgwaelach anseo sa choréithas agus inniu cheanimid cúpla pórt díobh an céad ceann darbanim sport an coma Peter ó Riada agus túnile an dar ceann darbanim an códar as Sléib Rúcra. So, tá séma gwyn go meni sif tanivas agus banyakti na fela Podrick or who.
Stately, plump Brooke Mulligan came from the stairhead, bearing a bowl of a ladder on which a mirror and a razor lay crossed.
Thank you for joining us for this St. Patrick's Day celebration. I hope that today's event conveyed a reminder of home for those in our Irish community and a sense of Ireland for our friends in Korea. I would like to thank you all for our work together and for your friendship and collaboration in the past year. I look forward very much to meeting you again soon, hopefully in person. Happy St. Patrick's Day.